Hello, everyone. So, there's a lot of things that I see that pop up that talk about narcissists, and from my experience and from my when I go to therapy and stuff, I talk to my therapist about it here and there. But there was a point where in my healing, like I was like, "Am I a freaking narcissist?" Like I've done some of that shit before. Like I've lost my shit before because I got triggered by something and just lost my shit and like went off on somebody. And it's like everybody can do things, like everybody can have narcissistic traits. Like when you don't freaking deal with the stuff inside of you that you need to deal with, like that's when it comes out in those kind of ways. And so my point of this was that a lot of people that we can deem a narcissist aren't actually narcissists. Like they just have some things like that they need to deal with in their lives. And at the same time, if you're in a relationship with someone that has those traits, and you also have to look at yourself, but if you're in a relationship with someone that has those traits, first of all, from what I've learned for myself, is that I need to look at why I thought I deserved that shit. Like, why do you keep accepting someone like that into your life? Because it's something within us that goes way back in our life somewhere, most likely to our childhood, and it could have been society, parents, kids in school, religion, whatever, that makes you feel like you deserve someone that treats you like shit. And because you don't feel like you're worthy. And but the thing is that in every relationship it takes two. And there was a point where I didn't really understand that. But that's whenever you're in the victim mode, like being the victim of the circumstances. And the thing is, you don't have to be a victim. And I'm not saying it's easy to get out of those kind of situations depending on how deep you're into it, especially when you don't really know your worth. At the same time, I was in one of those relationships. I probably had, well, especially there was one. One, and I'm not going to say this person was a full out narcissist, but if they weren't, they're pretty freaking close. But it all comes down to something in that person that they need to work on, that they need to look deep within themselves about, because it's something that happened to them in their life. So I'm not going to say all people can heal themselves from that. Like there's some people that are just psychopaths or whatever. But there are people that just don't even realize. I don't even know if they realize what is happening. You know what I mean? Like if you don't really, sometimes you just don't see it for yourself. And that's where, like, as you work on yourself and you can learn to be emotionally, if you learn emotional intelligence, um that's whenever, like, you think before you speak. Like, you don't react to things. You don't react to someone saying something to you that you don't like, because what they're saying to you, like, it might trigger something in you. It's making you feel, you're choosing to feel a certain type of way. But the thing is that you don't have, if someone's like that and they sit there and they purposely are pushing your buttons all the time, you have to look at yourself and see why that you're accepting that from people, because it's not a one-time thing. Like for me, like that person that I was with that was like that though, like for me that was a one-time thing, because I'm not saying I've never been into a relationship where people can or couldn't have been assholes to me or whatever, but that was the worst one. And from that point, I was never in a relationship with someone that was like that again. And not saying it couldn't happen, but I feel like you learn to see the signs now. So everything's a lesson. So everything you go through is teaching you something. So that's why you have to look at it. You can't look at it, I mean, you can if you want to. If you look at it this way, though, you're still in the victim mode. But if you can look at it in the way that, what was this trying to teach me? And honestly, that relationship that I had was trying to show me that I needed to value myself because I didn't deserve that shit. And it took a good 6 years, and then the time after those 6 years to, but when I got to that, when that relationship was over, I was like done with that. Like, I was done. I was over it. And I was finding my worth before I got out of it. And I think that was the thing. Like, I started working on myself, and I saw that that person wasn't really happy to see me doing better. And I finally was like, screw this, man. I'm not going to hold myself back anymore. So, all right, everyone. Love, peace, stay tuned.